Hi guys, it's Ian again from Global Air Supplies. I'm here with Pim from Aqua Master Tools, and we want to talk about the brand new meter, the H600. So Pim, this is it. Absolutely beautiful carry case. The product is phenomenal in my opinion. How does it work?
Thank you, Ian. Well, first of all, the H600 gets equipped in a nice carrying case, so it's protected, you can take it easily, and you can...
Why I like this, because it's a handheld meter. Let's say you're working in multiple rooms, you can put it back in the kit, you can take it to the next room, you can zip it back up, and you know it's completely safe. That's it.
Yeah, first of all, it's a high quality Dutch developed product. You can see that in the nice soft touch rubber bag with the grips.
Yeah.
It has probe holders so that you don't lose the probes.
Yep.
That's very nice. And with the high quality double junction probes, you are sure that your product has a very long lifespan. Another benefit is of course that the probes are both replaceable. We see that a lot of other handheld meters that they have a fixed cable on the EC probe, and yeah, over the time the probe itself will not break, but the cable will break, and then you have to replace the whole
I've
unit.
seen that before, where you've got an EC meter and a pH meter, the EC cable is wired in, it breaks, you've got to completely change the meter, where here you can change the probes.
That's totally correct. Another big benefit that we have is that we have a calibration indicator on the screen. You can see that it's off now, but when you calibrate it successfully, you will see a calibration indicator will pop up and it stayed there for 30 days, then it will disappear and the end user knows that you have to calibrate it again.
Right, so it's like a reminder to basically make sure you keep the calibration on the unit all the time, yeah?
That's it, Ian. Yeah, that's basically it. Another big benefit is that our handheld meter is also compatible with our substrate probes. So you can take the probes off very easily and then put our substrate probes on, calibrate it again, and you're ready to go.
So literally you've got 2 meters in one. So you're calibrating and you're checking your EC pH of your nutrient tank.
Yes.
And then when that's done, you can just literally take the probes off, put the soil pH probe and EC probe on the meter, calibrate it.
That's correct.
Drop them into the soil, and
That's
you can
correct.
start to check the EC and the pH of the soil as well. So it's basically 2 meters in one.
Yeah, and you can also use it for rock wool, coconut, and any other soft substrate. Nice to know is that you can use the substrate probes also in the liquid. So actually you don't need the normal liquid probes, you can only use the substrate probes when the substrate probes are connected to the meter.
Do you have to calibrate it separately, or once it's calibrated?
Once it's calibrated, you're ready to go. Only keep in mind that it's important to do a regular pH calibration every 2 weeks or at least every month.
Yeah.
That's also why the calibration indicator appears after 30 days.
Just to remind people.
That's just to remind people.
I know myself, I'm using meters and I'm as lazy as anybody else, and I'll let the pH run. I don't check it, and 3 months later I'm panicking and I'm calibrating again. So yeah, keep the probes calibrated, especially the pH, because if not, they float out a little bit and you've got to bring them back down to make sure you get the perfect pH.
Yeah, we always say you can buy the most expensive nutrients, but as long as your pH value is not in the right range, it doesn't make any sense.
No. So what makes Aqua Master different to the competition?
Well, different to the competition, first of all, that we sell high quality Dutch manufactured and developed products.
So you've actually, it's not an OEM, it's not a Chinese product like a lot of the other,
You can see that on the product. All our brand names are in the plastic, but also if you do your research on the internet, there are a lot of label brands who, for example, buy their product from another manufacturer, put their label on it. We don't do that. You cannot find our products on Alibaba. No, they're not. Another big benefit is that, same as the established brand, all our products are equipped with a 2-point calibration, where you can see that the cheaper OEM brands only have a pH 7 1-point calibration. Then you actually never know if your measurement is really accurate. Another big benefit is all our products have replacement probes, so all our products are equipped with a replacement probe, also our pH pens, and you can also see that our monitors and handheld meters are equipped with high quality double junction probes.
What do you mean by double junction?
Double junction means that you have an inner junction and an outer junction, and beside that they have a double junction which has higher quality than a single junction probe, is also that they contain more liquid than the pens. The pens, they have a quite short probe, so that means that they have less of a liquid, and the longer probes, they contain more liquid, and more liquid means more buffer. That also means a longer lifespan.
When we're looking at a normal pH pen,
Yeah,
you see the ball in the bottom of a pH pen, that is full of liquid.
that's correct.
Where when you get the larger pens, you can actually see the liquid moving around in there a little bit. That means that these will last a lot longer
That's correct.
because they have a lot more liquid, which doesn't basically get contaminated when you're using it over time.
Yeah, actually inside the probes contain a KCl storage solution, actually the same solution where you store them in. And KCl storage solution is an extreme salt solution that helps to conduct the electric pulse where we measure it. And the less salts and the more contamination within the probe, the less the probe will function, and that's also the main reason why we advise to store it in KCl storage solution. Then the liquids are the same, and then you will not contaminate the liquid
Right.
inside.
So when I look at it, your EC is a completely electronically commutated. I guess it's measuring the salt across the two probes.
Yes, that's correct.
You clean them, and realistically, they should last for as long as a pen
Yeah,
lasts.
they're just two metal pins. It's a
Where
very
the
simple technique.
pH, you've got to be looking on a smaller pH pen, changing the probe end every 6 months or so.
Yeah, it depends. If you keep it clean, if you store it in a KCl storage solution, a pH probe after production has a lifespan of approximately 2.5 to 3 years.
Okay.
If you store it in the right way and if you keep it clean. If you don't take care of it, for example, if you store it in distilled water, it will attract all the ions very quickly from the probe, so it will last maximum 6 months.
So it's dragging all the KC fluid basically
Yeah.
out of the EC.
Yeah, actually only
Pen,
the salts, the ions,
Yeah.
and will leave the liquid in.
So it's like a negative. So if you've got a negative in there, it will drag that out into a negative liquid.
That's correct.
And then not work on pH.
That's
properly.
correct, and you will notice that your response time of your probe will be slower and slower in the end.
What are the benefits of this over a handheld? Take it detachable probes.
Yeah, longer lifespan with a higher quality double
Higher
junction
quality
probes,
probes.
instead of the pen. Also, because the probes have a cable, you have less risk of water damage inside the quality, although the pens are IP67 waterproof. If you replace the probe and the rubbers are not back on its place, you can still have water damage when you use these probes, you will not have this risk. And on the other hand, they have a longer lifespan.
I guess because you can switch from EC and pH for your water, but you can also do the media. That's one of the biggest selling
That's
points
one of the biggest
H600,
benefits
yeah?
of the H600, that it's also suitable for more purposes than only measuring liquid.
Okay. Top tips to the customers. If they go into a store and they are lucky enough to get an H600, looking after the product, keeping it calibrated, that's the main things really. Keep it clean.
Keep it clean, keep it calibrated. We always say make sure you have fresh calibration liquid in store. I mean, you can have the best measuring device there is on the planet, as long as you don't have fresh calibration liquid in stock. You never know if your device is accurate.
And I want to give everybody a bit of a tip, what Pim's told us, and I know everybody does this because I know I do this. When you're calibrating the probes, you're dipping them in the solution, you're taking them out, then you dip in the next solution, you calibrate, you take it out. Every time you move it from calibration fluid to calibration fluid, you're contaminating them all. So what Pim were doing earlier when we were calibrating some pens, put them in water, clean them off, take them out, do a calibration, take them out, wash them again before you move on.
Preferably with distilled water, because there's no nutrients inside, and that's actually the only way to clean them.
Yeah, because you showed us what happened. Basically, if you're moving from salt to salt, the calibration liquid completely changed its composition.
Yeah.
So you're thinking you're doing a pH 4, and it might be actually a 4.2 now because you've added salt into it by mistake.
Especially when you are using small cups of calibration liquid, they get contaminated quite easily, because just a few drips is already a few or several % of the whole mass.
So what would you say if you saw me open up the pH 4, let's say, I've dipped the pH probe into the bottle, took it out and put the top back on?
Yeah, never do that again.
So liquidly
for us business-wise it would be good, because you have to buy new bottles every time for every calibration. but we not recommend it. Always pour a little bit out.
Yeah,
and we also
into a measuring cup or something
into a
like that.
measuring cup, yes.
Throw that away.
Throw that away. And we also recommend to squeeze the bottle a little bit before you put the cover back up to avoid air to be in the bottle,
Okay, yeah.
because the air will affect the quality of the calibration
Right.
liquid over time.
Okay, so yeah, make sure if you're using calibration fluid, you pour a little bit out, you test the probes, you calibrate them, you wash them off, throw it away. Don't put it back in the bottle because it's going to throw the calibration completely out.
What's also very important to note, Ian, is that when you do EC calibration liquid, the EC calibration liquid is extremely temperature sensitive because the value will change while the temperature is changing.
Yeah, we've noticed this. So we've had a couple of pens back and we've brought them to you. You've come straight in the room, you've calibrated them, and I've watched how you've done this. And if you look on the EC calibration liquid, you have to bring the temperature up.
Yeah.
Because if you do anything below 15 degrees, is it?
Yeah, but when you have a difference of 0.3 EC, it will go into an error mode to protect the customer against a faulty calibration. We don't want that, of course. This is actually our most common complaint in the winter, because then the liquid is stored very cold. Yes, and we see a lot of calibration errors then, because the liquid below 15 degrees has a value of less than EC 1.1.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to go through a little bit of calibration fluid in another video, just to show you what we're talking about. So, for the H600, absolutely beautiful meter. It's got a really, really nice big screen on there. It's 2-point calibration on your pH.
That's correct.
1-point calibration on your EC.
Always.
Detachable probes, and you can use soil, pH and EC meters as well as liquid ones. If you want to use the soil meters in liquid, you can do that as well.
That's, yeah.
You gain a good meter with this, great carry case. So yeah, thanks Pim for explaining the H600.